Hello everyone, welcome to LitBud, your literature buddy. Today we'll be going through the poem Sunne Rising by Donne. It was published in 1633 in his collection Songs and Sonnets. Donne died in 1631, thus this poem was posthumously published. It is a metaphysical poem containing 30 lines divided into 3 stanzas. Throughout this poem, sun is personified and all the stanzas follow the same rhyming scheme: A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D, E, E. The theme that this poem follows throughout is the authority and glorification of love. So let's dive right into it. To get a better sense of the poem, we'll go through a pictorial representation of what the poet must have had in his mind as he was writing this poem. The time when this scene was being played out must have been 5:30 to 7 a.m. in the morning, as the sun rises around this time. There is a window in the east of a room, and in the room there is a bed where two lovers are laying. The sun is penetrating through the window and through the curtains, and the male lover is the speaker of this poem, and he is addressing the sun while his beloved is a silent listener. The first stanza goes like this: Busy old fool, unruly sun, why dost thou thus through windows and through curtains call on us? Must to thy motions lovers' seasons run? Saucy pedantic wretch, go chide late school boys in sour prentices. Go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride, call country ants to harvest offices. Love, all alike, no season knows nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the rags of time. In the first lines of stanza, busy old fool, unruly sun, the speaker calls out to the sun, calling him very rude and contrasting to the usual norm of worshipping the holy sun. He is being rude to it. Notice that from the first line, from the first word of this poem, the poet has personified sun as a person who is busy and old and a fool. Busy, he's busy as he's always working. The sun never takes a leave. He's old because he has been here even before we were here. And he's a fool. The poet calls him a fool. He's cursing the sun. Unruly means the one who cannot be controlled. Thus, these lines denote that the poet, the speaker in the poem, he is calling the sun a busy old fool who's unruly. In the second line of the stanza, he asks why the sun is like this. Why dost thou thus? And in the third line, he says, through windows and through curtains call on us. So the question that he makes is, he asks the sun why he's penetrating the windows and the curtains and disturbing the lovers in their bed. And in the fourth line, which is a very powerful line, the speaker again demands an explanation from the sun. He is annoyed and angry. He compares his love to seasons. Unlike seasons, which are controlled by the sun in many scientific ways, love isn't and cannot be controlled by the sun. There are no seasons for love, it just is. The speaker complains that the sun is trying to control their love by shining onto them. In the next lines, the speaker says, saucy pedantic wretch, go chide late school boys in sour prentices. In these lines, the speaker curses the sun again, calling it rude and useless. He calls the sun as a person who is only concerned about rules. He asks the sun to go and bother the school going children and wake them up, otherwise they will be late for school. The speaker, which is the lover, is instructing the sun to disturb those two-faced apprentices who work for the king. In the next lines, he says that go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride. He orders the sun to rise and shine above the huntsmen and to convey to them the message that the king will be arriving soon for his routine hunting, and then call country ants to harvest offices. Country ants is a metaphor for farmers, and their offices are their farms. The speaker instructs the sun to wake up farmers to go to their farms and harvest the field. In the last lines of this stanza, which is a couplet, the speaker says, "Love, all alike, no season knows nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the rags of time." The speaker mentions the nature of love, how it is all alike, as in, throughout the lifetime, love stays constant. It doesn't know any season or climate, as it is eternally growing. It doesn't know hours or days or months. These are man made parameters to measure our experiences in the name of time. But love is different. It is divine and spiritual. It is metaphysical. Notice how there is a hint of his metaphysical thought in these lines. The months, days, and hours are the clothes which are worn by time. Time is an illusion, and time wears the clothes. The different names given to time are months and days and hours, but love is timeless and it is not confined by time at all. I would like to point out that the tone of this stanza seems to be very rude as he is cursing out the sun. Remember this point as we move forward in the poem. Now let's move on to the second stanza. Let's read it briefly. Thy beams so reverend and strong, why shouldst thou think I could eclipse and cloud them with a wink? But that I would not lose her sight so long. If her eyes have not blinded thine, look, and tomorrow late tell me, whether both the Indias of spice and mine be where thou leftest them, or lie here with me. Ask for those kings whom thou saw'st yesterday, and thou shalt hear all here in one bed lay. Let's do the line by line analysis now. Thy beams so reverend and strong, why shouldst thou think? The speaker is challenging the sun and asking him why it is so proud, why the sun is so proud of its strong and bright rays. He provokes the sun, questioning his valor and strength, and then says, I could eclipse and cloud them with a wink. The speaker speaks powerfully that the sun shouldn't be so proud of himself, because even though his rays are strong and mighty, the speaker is much more powerful and can eclipse and blind the sun with a mere wink. The speaker is backed up by love. His love is so pure and great that it gives him the power to blind the sun. And then the next line is, but that I would not lose her sight so long. Look at Donne's brilliant writing. The speaker, the lover, then adds a but and shows his concern. He doesn't want to take his vision away from his beloved. He doesn't want to lose her sight so long. Here we can see the exaggeration. The time of a wink is merely the fraction of a second, but the lover cannot take his eyes away from his beloved even for that little amount of time. He is so deeply in love, and their love surpasses all physical conditions. And then he continues, if her eyes have not blinded thine, look, and tomorrow late tell me, whether both the Indias of spice and mine be where thou leftest them, or lie here with me. The eyes of speaker's beloved are enough to blind the sun. She contains so much power and purity that her eyes shine brighter than the sun and can blind him. The speaker conveys through these four lines that if the sun doesn't get blinded by his beloved's eyes, he should look for the Indias, the West and East Indias, if they are still there where he saw them last, or they are laying in the bed, the same bed in which those two lovers are laying in. It is an exaggeration as the speaker calls his beloved the whole world. She encompasses both of India's. And then the last lines of this stanza, the couplet, it says, "Ask for those kings whom thou saw'st yesterday, and thou shalt hear, all here in one bed lay." The speaker then, still addressing the sun, says that the sun should ask or look for those kings that he saw the day before, and he will be told, all those kings lay here in one bed, which is the same bed that those lovers are laying in. He says that the world is contained in him and his beloved. The tone of the speaker, if you noticed, has completely changed from the first stanza. It is now much more calm. There is still a kind of pride and rudeness in it, but compared to first stanza, it has calmed down a lot. He is not cursing the sun anymore, but he is still being proud of his love and here we can see the theme, the authority of love being the most prominent. Love is more authoritative than the sun, and love overpowers anything else in the world. And now the last stanza of the poem goes like this: "She is all states and all princes I, nothing else is. Princes do but play us, compared to this, all honors mimic, all wealth alchemy. Thou, sun, art half as happy as we, in that the world's contracted thus. Thine age asks ease, and since thy duties be to warm the world, that is done in warming us. Shine here to us, and thou art everywhere. This bed thy centre is, these walls thy sphere." Do you notice how much the speaker has calmed down in his speech? These lines are so much more calm and they are being carried lightly from the speaker to the sun. They are said lightly. Now let's go through the last stanza. "She is all states and all princes I, nothing else is." The speaker begins to appreciate his beloved once again, saying that his beloved is all the countries in the world, all the states. Here, states denote countries. And he himself is the prince of all of these countries. Other than them, there is no one. Nothing else matters, and the world, it is encompassed in both of them. They are lost in each other and are deeply in love, and for them only their lover exists. Then the third and fourth lines goes like this: "Princes do but play us, compared to this, all honors mimic and all wealth alchemy." All that the princes, which is a metaphor for rulers in the world, all that these princes do is but copy these two lovers. They imitate the lovers, hoping to enjoy their life the same way they are, deeply and completely in love. In comparison to this here denotes their love. All the honor that exists is mimic, it is mockery, and it is an act. And all the wealth in the world, all the metals and elements, they're just physically existing. They do not exist as well as their love exists. They are all elemental and metal. "Thou, sun, art half as happy as we, in that the world's contracted thus." He, the speaker, addresses the sun again and says that he is half as happy, that the sun, he is half as happy as these two lovers, as he is lonely and he has no one to be with him. And in each other's, the lover, their words confide in each other. They are each other's worlds, and that the whole world, in that the worlds contracted thus, in them, the world has become contracted. It has it has become small and it has contracted into these two lovers. The whole world is inside them now. They are a microcosm of the world. Thine age asks ease, and since thy duties be to warm the world, that is done in warming us. He respectfully tells the sun that the sun has become very old now. He is in his old age and he should not work as much as he does. His age, his old body, asks for ease, for some rest, and he should rest now. The sun's duties include warming the world, and the lover says that your duty is to warm the world, which is already done as you have warmed us. The sun has already warmed the lovers, and thus his duties are done. The world has contracted to those two lovers and their bed. He can take rest, the sun can take rest, and should only provide light and heat to those two lovers. Shine here to us, and thou art everywhere. This bed thy centre is, these walls thy sphere. According to the old Ptolemaic system, the earth was the center of the universe and the sun revolved around it. And the poet followed this pattern as he wrote that in his writing the speaker instructs the sun to revolve around them as they are the world. The sun shall shine to the lovers and he will be everywhere as they are the world. Their bed is the center around which the sun shall revolve, and the walls. These four walls around the room, they are the orbit on which it shall revolve. Look at Donne's genius as he wrote, this bed thy center is, these walls thy sphere. And here the poem ends. This is one of the most brilliant poems written in English literature, and it is recommended in every syllabus. Let us now briefly go through the themes of this poem as well as some literary devices, the form, meter, rhyming scheme, and some points that we should note. So, the main theme is the glorification and authoritative nature of love. Love is glorified in this poem as the most beautiful and ecstatic type of happiness one can achieve. The sun is called out for not possessing love as the lovers do. Love surpasses the sun. It is the highest form. Through various metaphors and comparison, the poet has put love on a pedestal higher than anything. Love is sufficient and is a microcosm of the outside world. It is sacred and divine. Now let's go through some literary devices. Personification is used in this poem as well as extended metaphors. Let's go through the literary devices briefly. There's personification, which is obvious. The sun is personified here. There's extended metaphor. The speaker, compares his beloved to the world, to the sun, and tells the audience that his beloved can outshine the sun. So this is an extended metaphor. There are also metaphors used throughout this poem, for example calling the farmers country ants. And then there's conceit, which is evident again in the lines that the world is contracted in lovers. The form of this poem, it doesn't really have a specific form. There is an adapted sonnet form which Donne adapted from the timeline in which he was writing these poems. A sonnet is 14 lines, but this poem is 30 lines. In each stanza is a form of sonnet. Some characteristics of a sonnet are adapted in the stanzas. The meter of this poem is not fixed. It does not follow any fixed pattern, but throughout the three stanzas the meter has been repeated. It is in irregular meter. The rhyming scheme is A B B A C T C T E E. which is repeated throughout the three stanzas. This poem is has a dramatic nature. The speaker is a male lover. His beloved is the silent listener, and the speaker is speaking to and addressing the sun throughout the poem. The time seems to be of early morning. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked this lecture. Please comment on the points which you would like further explanation on, and please comment what more poems you would like me to work on. Also, give any feedbacks if you have any, and subscribe to my channel as well as push the bell icon in order to receive every notification whenever I post a poem. And also, please like this video. I hope you liked it, and I will make more videos like these. Have a nice day. Bye bye.